New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Greetings, beloved. How are you? Welcome to Jersey Girl Wisdom. Today I am going solo. And good morning, Evelyn Bourne, a beloved member and a practitioner of great depth and beauty. I welcome you here today, and today's going to be a different show than what I've been. And I have to let you know that the original intention for the show, and I think I've already might have mentioned this in a prior show, the initial intention was a little lighter, a little more fun, but life has shown me that I'm that there is a requirement for some deeper conversation around many things. So I'm here to bring some of that conversation to you, both when I have guests and when I'm alone. I won't always. Still at times would like to have a sense of lightness about life because at every given moment, face it, life is a smorgasbord and it's all available for us. It's all available. All the good, the not so good, the pain, the suffering, the love, the joy, the depression, the weight, the heaviness. It's all available at the same time equally. And it's what you and I choose, where we place our attention, that and what we choose to pick up, that governs the landscape and the tapestry of. Thank you, Terry. I'm looking at some of the comments coming in. That governs the tapestry of our lives. I am a Jersey girl through and through. I will not apologize for it. I know when I first got in the organization of Centers for Spiritual Living back in the day, it was called Religious Science International. I was a little bit of an enigma. Everyone made fun of my accent, and I really didn't know what I was getting into. What I knew was there was something inside of me burning to be expressed, even though the evidence of my life would not have proven that I was being lifted or called. And I'm always the first one to say that I never got a call to ministry. I got into it fighting and screaming to have a place at the table. Matter of fact, a very good friend of mine, whose name I will not mention because she might not appreciate it. There was probably the two people in the world least likely to be ministers, and we both became ministers of. She's in a different leg of New Thought, but I got here because I leaned into the call, not the call to be a minister, not the call to be somebody, because I still don't feel like I'm necessarily somebody, but the call to be a stand for love and acceptance and possibility that would pave the way for others like me. So I'm here. I'm here because I be careful be careful how you listen to this, right? Because your listening causes a story. When we listen through a filter. So I'm going to say something to you, but listen as purely as you can to my intention. Listen at a heart level. Even though I'm here with you and I've been a minister for 20 years almost, and I founded a community, and I believe I've done a lot of good in the world. I still don't think of myself as someone that's so unique or so different. And I'm glad about that because it keeps me working to be in front of you by right of consciousness. And the recent events in the past few months have just taught me that I must have a voice, that I must have a voice, and I must allow my voice to be heard. And I know that many of you listening have had a similar experience. I think a lot of us learned that the world needs us right now. The world needs those who are who can see the confusion and the chaos and still remain in a calm, right? That we view life, but we bring out the inner calm. And the world has definitely needed more of this. I'm here to tell you that I love over the years, maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago, somebody on here might be able to tell me when, 15, maybe 20 years ago now, the term a term came out about the us we type of people. Oh my God, now I'm forgetting the name of it. And they started marketing to us, and somebody's going to help me remember. So you'll put it in the notes. And what happened was marketing people started to utilize people who were spiritual to market to. But yes, well, not quite spiritual mavericks, but spiritual something. Yes, that's close. Thank you, Wayne. Um, and what happened was then they started making fun of us. So they started advertising, and you know that because a number of years ago, everything had this Zen green color, and they were using bamboo. Cultural creatives, bless your heart, Alan Vukas. That was the term I forgot. Yes. So the cultural creatives, we are a large part of the market today. So what happened? Two things happened. One, marketing, all the marketing companies started to get wind of, oh my God, this is a group of people to pay attention to. So everything started being marketed toward us, okay, because we were different. We were walking a different path. We are a culture of people who question our doctors, who don't just do status quo, who want to live our own lives, we want to question everything. And in a good way, in a good way. So so that became the first part of it. But then what happened was we also started to be made fun of. Oh my God, commercials with people floating off of cushions and mattresses. It's been pretty hysterical as far as I'm concerned. And being a Jersey girl through and through, it's not easy to offend me because I just don't care. I I care about you and I care about life and I care about precious and important things, but I don't, you could cuss me out and I just don't care. Okay. So with that, and with the recent events, there was so much activity on Facebook. I noticed that what was happening is that people, in standing for what they believed, started to stand angrily, and the division between us got deeper, the chasm got larger. And that has me curious. That has me curious. And I love being curious, because when I'm curious, I can't be equally judgmental. I want to take a minute at this time. We're going to get back to this. If you've just joined us, you are watching New Thought Media Network. This is Reverend Michelle Wadleigh with Jersey Girl Wisdom. We're here every Thursday at noon Eastern. So please join us, and please go to newthoughtmedia.org and send in your donations. If you have found any value in any of the programming from all of what they do, all the shows that they have, please put them in your giving log, because they're worthy of your receiving those donations. So what I saw is that the only way that people seem to stand in their position is they felt compelled to stand against. And I'm not buying it. I have people on my Facebook page, people from that I knew from when I grew up. And we had some gruff moments. Let's say that at the moment. We had gruff moments. But because they knew me, I know they were gentler with me. And because I knew them, I was gentler with them, because that's who I want to be anyway. But what it really came around to for me is that, for me, not agreeing with you does not mean you're my enemy. Being on two sides of the political aisle, two different sides of the political aisle, does not make us enemies. And by the way, I'm not a registered anything, and I will, to the best of my ability, always vote values and vote my conscience. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter, Republican, Independent, Green, or Democrat. What matters is I'm going to do the best I can at any given moment. Having said that, my main concern today and my focus today is for us to contemplate, what does it mean to us to stand in what we believe, but not to be against. Not to be against. And so I want to read a very loved psalm to you. And then I'm going to read my translation of it. And what I would love for you to consider at this time is to not listen to the psalm in the traditional way, but listen to the psalm from, who am I in this? How does this live in me? So I'm going to read to you the 23rd Psalm. I told you today was a different show. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me, and thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, I got to tell you, the fact that I read this to you, that I have an awareness to you, is the evidence that a young girl from born in Jersey City, growing up in North Bergen, New Jersey, from a non-religious home, from a completely dysfunctional non-religious home. The fact that I could get here to read this to you is a testament that we can shift and grow. And not that being religious makes me elevated. It just means I'm able to change. I learned in life that I could embrace newness. It's one of the values of the study of the science of mind, is learning that I was not stuck. And as we have said, principle is not bound by precedent. Okay, we're gonna pick this apart a little bit. But let me read to you my quick translation. I have retranslated this numerous times over the years, but let me retranslate it for you at this moment so you can kind of hear it through my ears and my heart. The law guides me and is always with me. I am invited to be in the presence of and create from a place of peace. This stillness comforts and guides me. Forever renewed, I live in right relationship with Spirit. My intuition and inner voice inform me. I do so from the I am that exists within and without. In the name of Spirit, I speak my life into being. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I am fearless because the strength and groundedness of the beloved is my path and my guide. Even as I look into the face of those with whom I disagree, with those who would criticize me, I am anointed with the consciousness of the Christ, lifted and inspired to walk a path of peace. I live a conscious and love grounded life now and always. This law, the law of love, will always be my foundation. So I'm going to let that just kind of drizzle into you just a tiny bit. And if you are a scholar and bells and whistles are going off and you're horrified, so be it. But I want to come back to the question, when did it begin that disagreement meant we had to physically stand apart from each other, where we had to be in complete agreement? In my short years on Facebook, I don't know how many years, I have rarely unfollowed somebody. And I will never unfollow somebody that disagrees with me, but I will unfollow you if you're unkind. I won't do that. I won't victimize myself to unkindness. There's no necessity for that. Okay. What can we draw from this psalm, from this incredible psalm? Greetings, beloved. I'm seeing my good friend here. What do we draw from this? When I look out of my eyes, and I believe I've used this here, there is a term, a Sanskrit term. It is called Tat Twamasi, which means I am that thou art, which means this is a tough one. We're going to pull out an oldie but goodie. I am the victims who died in the towers. I am the pilot who flew the plane. I am the ones running in to rescue, and I am the ones left behind with loss. I live in each as you live in me. You are a part of me as, can't remember her name right now. It'll come, somebody will tell me. You are a part of me that I have not yet met. My wholeness requires, in order to be in that wholeness, I must acknowledge the aspects and the facets of who I am. When I do that, and when I choose to not find fault, and when I choose to not make you wrong, to have a conscious practice of non judgment, then we can begin to move in sync, even, even if that in sync means we are not in agreement. My very good friend who's on here, when both became ministers, we have not been in agreement about the application of the Bible and using Jesus as a focus in the ministry. Anyone who's been to my ministry knows it's not my focus. Not that I find fault with. It's just not my leaning. So can we still be in love together? Can we still um, can we still dance together to the same music? Yes. And I would hope and dream that the science of mind movement, unity, divine science, Christian science, that we, those practicing A Course in Miracles, if you are a spiritual human, can you please choose to walk the path where we are synchronized? Many, many, many years ago, oh my God, somebody's going to remember, besides me, is going to remember this. I don't know who organized it. They tried to do this thing. It was Hands Across America. Does anybody, do you remember that? And they invited people to come to certain areas of certain cities and literally just to stand in a line for a certain amount of time and hold hands. The goal was to cross the United States with Hands Across America, with people holding hands. I don't know what would have happened to that. I wish there had been Facebook at that time, because that effort now would have been glorious. But that's what I'm talking about. Not necessarily, we didn't check each other's, political cards to see, oh, do I want to hold their hand? We simply held hands. And so, the main message I want to leave us with today, although I'm not done, is that the work, what allows us to stand in that place, is the inner work. For me, I am a teacher, and I'm gonna be bold enough to say that I am now a master teacher of forgiveness. I have been teaching forgiveness to individuals for years. Once again, thank you to Jim Stark, who has housed and hosted me for years now. And there's two courses we're going to put up a link for you for them. One is the No Mud, No Lotus course, which is a course for people who are practitioners, chaplains, ministers. If you are steeped in the teaching and you are a practice of even certain therapists who have spiritual tendencies, can be part of this course. And we teach how to take the practice deep, deep, deep. And then we also I created a course for lay people. Why? Because your freedom depends upon forgiveness. And is this not something we've heard from every great spiritual teacher, beginning with Jesus? Was he not a master of that? Was he not a master of that? And so with what I do for a living, I don't want to teach tricks. I want to provide skills and tools to help you deeply release, heal the inner landscape, so that what transpires then from you is natural outcome. And that's the work that I believe we are called to do if we want to really make a difference in the world. USA for Africa, Hands Across America was sponsored for USA for Africa. Okay, thank you, Mo. It was, oh, yes, it was a long time. It was in the 80s, I'm being told. So sometimes I'm a little bit of an ex-hippie, and I love those ideas. Corny? Maybe. But think about the effort it would take for us to do that. Maybe somebody should resurrect the idea. And there's a poem out there that everything you learned in kindergarten. Well, everything that I learned that has value, even after years of study, years of reading hundreds of books, years of studying along with Don Miguel Ruiz and Alberto Villoldo and Michael Beckwith and all of the extra work that I've done. The initial work that I learned under my spiritual teacher is still the foundation of who I am and how I show up and what I believe in. That is to love in a way that you accept another completely, to love without expectations, to give without expectations, without expecting back, to practice forgiveness for your own freedom. And here's the kicker: for you and I to learn to love ourselves so completely that we feel into that perfection. Join me for a second. Close your eyes just for a second with me. There is a place within you that has never been hurt, harmed, or injured in any way. I promise you it's there. If you sit in the stillness, you will find it. It is pure, untouched, untainted by any human condition. That is the truth of your being. That is the truth of my being. That's where we create from. And our job is to remember that perfection and to move past all the layers of doubt and fear to get back to and return to that place. And then to remember that that place exists in your white brother, in your black brother, in your Republican brother, in your Democrat brother, in your Jewish brother, in your New Thought brother, in your Muslim brother. It exists in each of us. It is the matrix of life. And if we could remember that while being in disagreement, we'll be standing on solid, good spiritual ground together. And the enemy will never really maintain itself as an enemy. We will be able to sit while tempted to object, which is what it means in the psalm. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You will always have the temptation to, or and the opportunity to object, to judge. But can you resist that temptation long enough to move past it? That's the test of time. You are here with me in Jersey Girl Wisdom on New Thought Radio and Media Network. I am here with you every Thursday. This radio station has a high and mighty goal to bring this teaching to all people and not just to speak to the choir. Here's my personal request to you right now. Share this page. Share it with everyone you know. Doesn't matter if you think they'll like it or not. Share it anyway. Let them decide. Because somewhere, someone is waiting for that light, for that lifeline, and you can be that lifeline. Let us be a lifeline for each other, even if it is in a sassy and fun way. I mean, you are looking at somebody, yes, tattoos. You're looking at somebody who loves the zest of life. God knows I enjoy myself a few shots of tequila here and there with friends, or at least before COVID. So being spiritual and grounded and generous does not deny you some of the pleasures of the flesh. You get to have it all. So I hope you return to us here next Thursday. Next week, I have with me, a very good friend, Bill Marcioni, somebody I've known for many years now, who was a beautiful influence in the life of my son, Seth Wadleigh. And I'm not even know what we're going to talk about. We'll figure that out next week. But please come back, join us, tune into the radio station, donate some money, and let me know if you're listening. If you want to connect with me directly, you can go to my website, which is plannedhappinessinstitute.com, and I know that we have a banner for that. And on Planned Happiness Institute, you can register to stay plugged into me and our work, or you can actually reach out to me directly via email at revjerseygirl.com. Either one. I'm here. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to be a stand with you. Reach out. But better than that, be present for someone else. Thank you for being here on this good and glorious day. I say namaste to you, and remember, there's a little bit of Jersey in all of us, and it's probably the best part of you. Much love to you. Be well. See you soon.
Check it out. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Eastern. A healthy dose of Jersey Girl wisdom. Live with Rev Jersey Girl. Sponsored by New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.